Hey everybody, and welcome to the Drafting Offers Podcast, the podcast where you get to vote for each episode's draft champ. We're realtors from Southern Ontario, but this is not another real estate podcast. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, catch every episode on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts, and follow us on social at the Drafting Offers Podcast. Here are your hosts, Brad Warner, Scott Morgan, and John Fielding. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Drafting Offers Podcast. John, Brad, Scott with you. How's it going there, gentlemen?
Good. How we doing?
Good today. Good today.
Good today. It's a nice sunny day. Got the sun coming in on my face here. It's nice and warm in the Drafting Offers studios, all three of ours. So what's going on? What's on the agenda for today?
Cold outside, but we're going to go over an article that talks about the real estate market heating up. And I know we're not another real estate podcast, but we are realtors, so we're here to talk about it.
Got to talk about what we know, and what we know is real estate. But before we get to that, we have a big, I don't want to say announcement, but just another proud moment here. We want to announce our winner from last week. Team 1, John's New Year, New Me. He's won 2 Wheel of Names in a row, and this podcast that just aired, the anti-Valentine's Day, was won by John, and very handily. It was one where I think Brad and I were laughed out of the Drafting Offers podcast studio with the results. So congratulations to John. So you'll be noticing maybe when he edits this, we'll have a nice distinct number 2 for the crowns that will pop up there.
And it's well known, John is anti-holiday in general. So this just cements that. He's anti-Halloween. He's anti-Christmas. And now
he's
what
he has to say about the Easter Bunny.
The Easter, that's a whole new ball game. Yeah. I don't know if he was anti-Thanksgiving. I can't remember.
What was it? Anti-pumpkin pie, I think?
Turkey, I think.
Turkey.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the turkey. I like turkey and gravy. Not a big pumpkin pie, though.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But congratulations, John. Good to see. So what I think it's like 14-5-2. So yeah.
No one's counting.
No one's counting.
Yeah.
Except for the
nobody's
thing at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Except the counter. So that's the we'll see what we got. St. Patrick's Day. What's coming up? St. Patrick's Day, Easter. Those things are coming up too. So maybe we'll have something for that. But for now, is Ontario's real estate market set for a comeback? Is it gone away? Is it coming back? What do we think?
I'm happy we're able to discuss this article because we've gotten off of the debunking of are things happening. But it's interesting. We had a few months where we were talking about the market being stagnant or stale or slow. And the end of the summer, was it the rate increases that were having an effect? And I think we saw that for a few months. It was both. And now we're seeing in this article, Canada's housing market is set for a comeback. So a couple key points in this one was basically talking about, you can cut this part out, but it was basically discussing December and November being really slow, getting into the new year. Supply was picking up, demand was picking up, unit sales were picking up. But the one key piece there was that the prices were not going up. They had actually gone down, and they were at their lowest point since June of last year. So what did you guys think of that article?
I thought it was pretty accurate for what I'm seeing anyways, and for how active my phone is too. And, like you mentioned, November and December was definitely some of the slower times I've had in my career anyways. The last 6 weeks anyways has certainly not been that. And I think the article kind of outlines that. The one thing I think it mentioned a lot too is, buyers get ready. And I don't know, what do you guys think about that? Do buyers need to get ready for a crazy market?
They've been ready. I think they've been ready for a long time. And I think that's the whole thing, right? I think that's this article is like, well, they've been ready, right? Now, what are we going to do? Now, what are we going to do about that, right? Now can they move to another phase in the buying process? Or now is it sort of like they're kind of gearing things up a little bit, or they're seeing the prices maybe come down and thinking, okay, well, now we can afford to get into the neighborhood that we want to get into. So let's actually start looking. I don't know that there's a lot of real readiness to get, I don't even know how to word that, but I'm not really sure that people are not ready. I think people have been ready for a while.
Yeah, we talked about it last podcast. It was that even when things were slower, there were showings. It's just people were looking for a deal. And it's almost like they were timing the market, which is exactly what they were doing. They didn't want to get in. Rates were going to be continuing to go up. And then now we're seeing that rates are set to go down and that conversation's happening. So all these people are going, now's the time, even though for months we were telling buyers, now's the time. You're going to look back. Now's the time that you're going to wish you got in if you didn't. And it almost makes us seem a little greasy because we're salespeople. We have commission that comes off these sales. But I don't know. We've talked about this before, where we are trustworthy people and we're doing things for the betterment of our clients. So
well, that's just what it is. Like I know I've said this again. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I mean, a real estate transaction is a transaction between two individuals, right? You're not buying something from a store. So we're not just standing there selling and selling. We're buyers as well. We're representing buyers. And so we have to understand both sides of the market very, very well. And we have to work in our client's best interest. And
for sure. Well, in every market, there's someone that could benefit, whether it's sellers that are going to take advantage of great prices or whether the market's down and buyers can take advantage of pricing. With affordability, with the rates, it's not like the prices came down enough where things got crazy affordable. It's just, I think people that are going to get back in the market now are going, this is probably where the prices are going to be at their lowest. We're going to get back in kind of how it was before things get too out of hand. Mm-hmm. And then you're paying a higher mortgage and the rates haven't gone down enough where your payment that you would have gotten in November for the mortgage you get and the rate you have is going to be significantly higher because the mortgage is now higher and the rates are still relatively high. So affordability is just going to probably be getting out of hand. So people should get in if they're on that cusp of the borderline of affordability.
Prices will go up though. I mean, as the demand increases, and I don't want to for our seller clients that we're currently working with now. I don't want the sellers to think that this is the worst time to sell your house. Like, I don't want them to think we should wait then. If you're saying the prices are down, we should wait. Well, no, it's not that we should wait. It's that the demand is still up here. And if the demand is up here, the supply maybe is still down here and prices are going to have to come up to meet that, right? So I think everybody will benefit. Right. I don't think it's just a buyer's or a seller's thing. I think everybody will benefit because it'll match, right? Everything has to match. There's a buyer and a seller in every transaction. So
it depends on the situation too. If you're just looking to sell off some rental properties, it might be more about timing than it would be if you're looking to buy and sell. Because I had people last year that kind of put things on hold when they were looking to do the move up because where they're going is the most important part of the equation. So if they're having to sell first and they maybe don't have the length of time to find the perfect place, they're looking to buy first. And there was no guarantee of how long a house would take to sell or what kind of when the bottoming out of pricing was going to happen. So it was a little more risky to do it that way, where there might be more ease of mind for those people that are looking to do that, knowing the market will be good for their home. And if they can get into what they're looking for, as long as they have a longer closing, they can now go ahead with selling their property and have the ease of mind that it's going to move for at least a relatively good price. So
luckily we can monitor, the activity out there and know, how competitive it is going to be in each price range and how many buyers are coming and going from houses. And we have the ability to track these sort of things. So it's really good for us to share that with people. Obviously, I know I've mentioned it before, but one of the key things that I track is the showings, because I think it really does indicate how hesitant are the buyers or how active are the buyers. And I can tell you right now, in the last 3 weeks, we've had just as many showings as we had all of January. We're almost exactly where we were throughout the entire month of January for showings in my region anyways, which obviously is showing that there's buyers out there and they're active and they're more and more active every single month. Because I think I mentioned before, January was much, much more active than December. And we're just seeing it week over week, more people looking at houses. And it's not like we're getting a big increase in listings. The supply has not been increasing, especially in my area. The supply has not been increasing, especially for quality listings. And we're still seeing buyer activity up and up and up every single week.
Yeah. Are we seeing different, now I know we've talked about this, like 2 weeks ago, we talked about different price categories and different price ranges of houses and the type of selling, the type of strategy that us as realtors will use along with our seller clients to try to get the best price for their house. Are we seeing a difference now? Like, I know that we were talking about a certain price category. We were seeing multiple offers in a different price category. Maybe we weren't seeing multiple offers, which is pretty common throughout the year. But I think we were talking about certain price categories. And I'm just saying this because I know that some of us have been in multiple offer situations recently with as many as, 10, 12, 15, 20, 29 30 offers. Like,
I wouldn't say necessarily that there's a difference in product class. So like I'm monitoring a market for a listing coming out next week, mid next week, and it's in around the 1.5 range, which I'm not seeing anything delaying offers at that price point. But I was out for showings. We looked at 3 different similar places that are kind of that second property. So you're moving on from your townhouse or your linked home into a bigger home. And a lot of the times I was having to like wiggle my way into showings because a lot of them were booked up. Where for those that don't know, a lot of the time since COVID, they don't allow overlapping showings, so you can kind of see where other people are going through. And I was pretty surprised to see how limited space there was over the weekend for a few of these homes. And as you said about number of offers, one of these places was a complete fixer-upper, had a ton of square footage and a big lot, and was listed aggressively low. But on family day, there was 34 offers that went in on this place, and it ended up going for a price that was almost comparable to a place that was renovated in the same size, same neighborhood. So that play worked. So it's once you start seeing that happen, it's almost like the bottom of the market might then translate up. If you're if the people are getting into the market, those people are moving up. You're having more buyers for the larger products, but I don't see that happening in the higher end homes just yet.
We also had a thing about we talked about inflation too, and the rate of inflation just came out, and it was something like 2.9, and that's hit like I would say historically low, but it's low compared to what we've been seeing in the 7 and the 5 range. So is inflation kind of part of that? Is that a factor as well in some of this?
I think
interest rates
that
probably.
Inflation number is the number that the Bank of Canada has been looking at for getting down to the number 2 for inflation. So if anything, it might just show that it's creeping closer and closer, and as close to 2 as possible, or around 2 is probably when the rates are going to start to go down. So that might just be that next signal that what they're saying is true, that rates are done going up, and we're getting closer and inching towards the rates going down, which is going to get people back into the market.
Yeah, the one thing that I hear people debating about the rates anyways is when it goes down, not really if it's going to go down. I think everyone unanimously thinks that the next one is going to be another rate hold, but is it going to be June that the rates go down? Is it going to be later? Is it going to be earlier? It's almost like playing the game, right? But we also know that the bond yields went down I think it was just yesterday. So the 5-year fixed mortgages are lower than they have been in a really long time. And most people that I'm working with anyways are looking for that 5-year fix. They're not looking for the variable rate as much. So the Bank of Canada doesn't have as much of an effect on that in the immediate future. But with the bond yields going down, it's certainly a more favorable time.
So that's an interesting question. So your buyers, Brad, are you talking with them about what they're getting into and what, like, for rates? Are they getting into variable yet, or you're saying 5-year fix is what they're going for?
I find it so rare that I have any buyers that typically go on to variable rates unless they're investors and it's not their primary house. But most buyers that I've ever worked with throughout my entire career have almost always locked into mortgages, whether they're 2, 3, or 5 years. They're almost always on fixed rates. And I think people like to know what their budget is month over month.
I'm just wondering if the variable play will start coming back now, though, if it's known that it's going to go down a few times, and usually the variable rate is lower than your fixed rate. So why would you not ride the roller coaster down, and then you can lock in at any time, really?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that would be the thought process for a lot of people. I just don't see it. I don't know about you guys, but I just don't typically work with buyers that typically do that very often.
I tend to be with working with people sort of similar that are just kind of like, not really risk averse, more just kind of like, let's just work with the cards that we have on the table right now and not kind of gamble a little bit. So, because real estate in general can be a bit of a gamble in terms of just the property and not just the rate or the way that you're going to pay for it. So there's already one big gamble in the equation when it comes to the property itself, and then another big gamble is the rate. So, I think a lot of us, and myself included, tend to work with people who are a little bit less risk averse, or a little bit more risk averse?
Along those lines is, at least in my area, and I can't speak to Durham region as much. I know it's more competitive there now than it was before too. But if you're a buyer out there who is wanting to do the home inspection, wanting to do the 10 days, 5 days finance, whatever you can get on an offer, this is the time to go out there and buy, because most likely in the future, in the next 6 months, those home inspections won't be there anymore. Your finance time is going to be much smaller. Any other conditions you want to get on, so rural properties around here, a well and septic inspection, those sort of things come off the table when there's a lot of competition. Mm-hmm. And we're already starting to see that. Like, I had an offer on one of the properties I had listed this weekend, firm offer, no conditions. And you're going to start going up against people that come in firm offer, no conditions. And if you're that buyer that wants those conditions, I truly believe that this is the time right now to get into the market, to go out there and buy, because in my area anyways, you can still get those conditions. The condition of sale, that big SPP, SBP, whatever people call it, that's a really big condition. That's probably already off the table. Yeah. It's on the table in the higher markets, the higher price stuff in my area. You can still work with that sort of thing, but there's always the escape clause on it. But it's few and far between in the lower range, where 6 months ago you could get on a $500,000 purchase and you needed to sell your condo, you were getting that condition of sale. But that's already off the table. So if that's off the table, the future is the home inspections are going to come off too.
34 offers, you're not getting a condition. No. You're just hoping that they take your offer and saying, what can we do here? It's still out there. I think we hit the nail on the head at the end of last year, saying like, now's the time for getting those conditions. The condition of sale of your property actually crept in our market more than you'd think. That's gone. Like, that's the only way you're getting conditions right now is being strategic with which properties you're looking at. So if you're finding something that was maybe priced higher and it's been sitting, that's one where you can maybe get in there and have that condition where you're negotiating. Mm-hmm. If you're seeing people coming out now, and again, we talk about price category, but that entry level home that's priced a little bit lower to get people through the doors, they're getting 1 million showings. It's just, that's not the property you should be targeting. But there are cases out there where you can find something to get those conditions in if that's what you're looking for. So you're right, Brad. Still there, but for how long, it really comes down to what kind of supply we get. Because if rates start to go down, this demand's here, we're in for another run.
And if this trend that we've had the last 2 months continues, we went from 40 days on the market on average for Hastings County to the last 3 weeks has been 20 days on the market. So that's cut in half of the amount of time that the average listings on the market. If that happens again and then again, there's no way you're going to be getting any of those conditions. It's so important right now that you're working with a good realtor that knows your market, that gets you out there right away, because you don't want to be working with that realtor who a new listing comes out on Tuesday and you're not getting through until the weekend. It's more important than ever right now, especially in my area where we're not withholding offers for a week. They're usually 24-hour irrevocable or 48-hour irrevocable. Mm-hmm. You want to be in there right away. You need to work with a realtor that knows, okay, it's time to get in here. Wednesday night, Thursday afternoon, whatever, but you need to get in there right away.
John, you got to clip that one, because that is like go on the top of Brad's Instagram, just letting people know. PSA announcement. That's
right in there. Yeah, right. Exactly. Get yourself a realtor that gets you in there right away. Somebody who can body check the other ones out the door.
Well, it's just so important. It's so important to know the market, know what's going on.
Well, and be active now, because if you have someone who hasn't done anything this year, hasn't been keeping an eye on things, and they're still thinking it's the same as the end of last year, times have changed. You're in for it.
Any final thoughts before we move on?
Well, let's not bury the lead. This draft will be Dream garage features. I live in suburbia. Our garages are filled with kid stuff, so this will be one where I'm at a bit of a disadvantage.
You're at a disadvantage. I don't even have a garage. All right.
Yeah, but you're a former car salesman, so you know about what is needed in those garages. And Brad has a nice detached one at home, so garage life out there is big. I believe you drafted a garage thing for Dream Home Features very early, so I'm interested to see what comes of it. But my list is very thin, and I'm not predicting that there will be a W coming from.
Are we in on detached garage or attached garage? What do you guys prefer?
I'd like a detached garage, and
Yeah.
I'm saying that for just because. Well, you'll see why I'm going to say it, because it'll be reflective in my list. I'm not going to give anything away, but I would like a detached garage.
I like attached because
Yeah.
in the winter I don't want to bring garbage and recycling outside. I want to just
Mhm.
walk through the door. If there's like a wing that maybe encompasses your laundry room or bathroom or something, and then that takes you to the garage, that's better. But
Yeah.
I still think
feel
that's
like-
attached. I still think that would be attached.
Well, 100%, 100%. I just mean like not where you're based. Like there's some in our community where you come through the garage and it opens into like the kitchen or
Right.
an open hallway that's open to everything instead of having like a laundry room or mud room or something.
I'm not. I have only owned a house with a detached garage, so I do envy that you could park your car in there and get in your car and you don't even have to go outside. Whereas I have to walk to my car out in the snow regardless whether I put my car in the garage or not.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nice kind of being away from the house too, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, make a noise. So do you park in your garage, Brad?
No, I don't.
No. Is it filled with kid stuff and tools?
Pretty much, yeah. Kid stuff and all the lawn tools and all the crap.
How far is the walk from your front door to your garage?
10 steps.
10 steps. So you know that
it's an eternity to get there.
You know what you can get? You can buy these these heated mats. You can get these heated mats that plug in and basically kind of like replicate a heated driveway. But they're these utility mats and they roll up and they've got little coils in them and you plug them in and they heat up and you don't have any snow. So from your front door to your garage door every day, you just line them. If you're just expecting snow overnight, you just roll them out. And that's it. You don't have any snow to shovel. You get in the car and you're good to go.
Not a bad idea.
I mean,
not gonna do it.
They just be out there 100% of the time.
I think that's the key. I think that's you just leave them there and you make sure that they're kind of turned on. But anyway, all right, Wheel of Names, where are you?
I was gonna say,
Get this going.
we're down to the best part of the podcast here. Wheel of Names. I don't know if you've noticed, but they've gotten even smaller. We've added more options.
Yeah, except for the Scott Morgan one seemed to keep getting bigger.
Oh,
I don't know how
Brad
this is-
will be choosing the order.
Okay, I'll go first. John can go second. Scott can go third. I'm going with my heart.
You clearly have a 1-1 that you want.
Yeah, I'm going to go with my heart. And the first pick for the Dream Garage draft is going to be a golf simulator.
Yeah.
That's where my heart lies. That's my dream.
Yeah,
One day, my dream is to have that indoor golf simulator in
I
the
knew you were
garage.
gonna do that. That's
Yeah.
where you'd really want the detached garage because you can make all the noise you want. And,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it's a good pick in my mind. John, what do you think? Where was that even on your list?
No. I just always thought a golf simulator was like a basement thing.
You're really wanting not to have a bedroom over top. Like if you get a good peak ceiling in there, then you get more swing room. But
Yeah.
I like that pick. It's
My garage can handle a simulator for what it's worth. It's just a dream.
Okay.
It's way down the road.
Okay.
Should we throw a little PSA out to Kristen, just saying maybe there's a little birthday idea with that?
The prices have to be coming down on these simulators. I feel like they're advancing quickly on these simulators, and the price has got to come down eventually.
Did I send you guys one you can get at Costco, like a fully done, like maybe 10 grand or something like that, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of money,
Yeah.
but it's like that, to have your own golf simulator with a projector and a screen and everything, that's like, okay, that's a $10,000 toy, I guess.
Yeah. It's a $10,000 investment, which is hard.
Investment into your life, right?
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's an investment.
Yeah, making the tour. So now, are you using that golf sim in the summer or when it's warm out still?
Probably.
All the time.
I would think that. I think if I had one, I would use it year round.
Yeah,
and I think I would use
garage
it.
door open.
People will probably like, oh, you put it up and you won't use. No, I'm telling you, I'm going to use it all the time.
All right, there you go, Kristen.
Well-
you heard it here. He's going to use it. So
My
drop the
pick
10K.
is going to be something that I would absolutely use every single day, regardless of weather and regardless of its location and size. But it's a beer fridge. Can't have a dream garage without a fridge. Maybe not just for beer, but like a fridge, a refrigerator for stuff. and it would probably be full of adult beverages. So that's just what I'm going to say. Big fridge for your bevies.
Now, are you doing like I picture a beer fridge in the garage just being like the old fridge that you used to have. It's usually a white one. Like, are you going that, or you want like a nice?
It's going to be nice. It's going to be built into the rest of the things that are on my list here. So hey, I got a whole dream. I've got a whole vision. But it would be just a fridge, not like an old dirty fridge, but I mean like a nice good fridge for stuff.
I like it. Okay. So I'm going to go a different direction. It's very broad, but if you're going to be in this dream garage, we live in Canada where it's cold. And in the summer times, it can get pretty crispy. So if I'm going to be there all the time, I want like heating and air conditioning in there. I want that to not just be super hot or super cold. So HVAC, I'll say. HVAC.
Yeah, that's definitely a key component to a dream garage.
Okay, our lists are very different.
It's going to be.
Are you regretting the golf sim first overall, or are you?
No. I'll never regret that. I don't care if I lose this draft, and you can have heating and air conditioning.
Okay. Well, the reason I would want heating and air conditioning is because you took the golf simulator, but in my real dream garage, it would be heated and cooled. There'd be the golf simulator, and right beside would be that sort of the man cave lounge area. So you got the couch and the bar. Like you have a bar there, so you can invite the buddies over. You can hit the Sims, and you can watch the game. So
is that your second pick?
So what? So what is it? It was a man cave, or?
Well, I don't know, because then he went with the bar too, and now I'm all confused. Are you talking about like the taps, like the beer on the taps bar kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So I'll say bar.
Okay.
And then my picture on it will encompass the vibe I'm going for. But yeah.
Okay.
Like you want it goes hand in hand with the golf simulator. You need the place to sit, and you need to have you're probably gonna have a little bar fridge in there, but that's where you're hanging out. So you're not too hot, you're not too cold, and you're sinking some pints.
My second pick is a little different. Probably more car related than most, but it's going to be like, this is very specific to a cars, but it's a hoist. It's a car elevator. Okay. Car elevator. So you can slide a car in underneath. So that means you got to have a little bit of ceiling space, but it's basically like, I like to be able to work on cars. I like to be able to see what's going on underneath. I had an issue come up the other day, actually, where one of my heat shields fell. The screws came loose over time and it fell, and it was actually sitting on top of the drive shaft, which goes, because I have a 4-wheel drive, it goes from the front to the back. And so there's a drive shaft, and every time I slowed down, it would go gong, 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 and it was just rattling. And so I would like to have been able to do that myself. I had to take it to a mechanic, but I will say though that Precision Auto and Ajax, Neil, you guys are fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Got it done in record time.
Thanks, Neil.
But if I had a hoist, I could have done that myself. And so that's kind of what I would do is a car elevator hoist type of thing.
All right. Not something that would be on my list. Well, I understand it, but I'm not that big of a car guy. The one thing I would like in my garage is a kitchen. In the garage. I want to have a stove. I want to have the fridge, obviously, the big countertop. I want to be able to make food in my garage, so I don't have to go inside and do it when I'm having people over at the simulator.
Okay. So you want the whole thing? You want
wasn't on my list,
outdoor kitchen in your garage.
Yeah. You hear about these new builds having a second. Kitchen. So people don't use their first kitchen.
First pick of the third round goes to Brad after choosing garage kitchen,
which is awesome, by the way. Imagine making like pizza in that kitchen and having it. Anyways, the next thing I'm going to take is a workshop area, which I know is pretty generic in the sense. I guess for me, I already have something similar to this, but I like to restore golf clubs. So I want like a golf club rebuilding station, like a more hardcore one than I currently have. Yeah.
So you want like a good workbench and like the storage and tools and like just a shop. Like you want like a good workshop.
I want a little shop. You know what I really want? Like a sand blaster. And one of our friends has one where he restores golf clubs as well. And he has like the sand blaster. Like you put your hands in there and do it. I'd love to have that in my workshop, but I mean, that's a dream. It's a dream.
Hey, this is the dream garage draft.
Yeah,
so that is a dream.
Little bit of a niche thing to be just fixing golf clubs, but that's why I'm going with the workshop area.
Yeah, I like
sure. Yeah.
To bring as much into it as possible, just like a bar. So yeah.
All right,
John. Third round, second pick.
It's going to be the big red Snap-on toolbox. You can't have a garage. It kind of goes along with the workshop area, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's more of a physical thing. It's a piece of equipment. Doesn't have to be red, but the big Snap-on toolbox, multi-levels, lots of drawers, things that
out
lock
when
the
it's
whole.
red, yeah.
Mine's red. Yeah.
It's got to be. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the red. I'm not a big fan of red. Lots of things, but I think if it was a toolbox, I'd go with the big red Snap-on toolbox. So that's going to be my pick. That's a garage.
Like
You open up the garage and you got that big red toolbox, and it's like, yeah, I can be trusted to work on my friend's cars because I got the toolbox to show for it. Like, that's that mentality that I always have, right? Like, you got to play the part, fake it till you make it. You got to play the part, right? So give me that toolbox, even if it's full of like snacks and whatever. It's still a toolbox.
Yeah, mine. I have a big red one like that, and you would think that I'd like work on cars and be full of wrenches and everything. It's not. It's full of like golf grips.
Perfect.
And golf related stuff.
But that's the best thing about a toolbox. A couple sandwiches. You could do, you could put whatever you want in the toolbox. It's fine.
Right, yeah. So
Whatever you
John
consider
has-
to be a tool, right?
I think I have a
Big
beer in one of them,
toolbox.
actually.
Probably
Just
pretty
one?
warm, eh?
You need my beer fridge for that.
Yeah. So
was
toolbox
number 2.
off the
It's
board,
toolbox.
red
Yeah.
toolbox, Snap-on. I'm gonna go a little different. It's not necessarily something that is in your garage, but you want more garage space. So you want a 3-car garage would be in my dream garage, or would be
do you
my
have-
dream garage.
So
Okay,
3,
I
like,
guess.
Are you going to put 2 cars and then stuff, or you want like a place for all 3 of your cars?
It's a
Or you
great
just want,
question, John. Options are endless because you
This-
got 3 spots. You can.
This
yeah,
is
one
a
golf
weird. This is
simulator,
a
you
weird
can-
pick. This is a weird pick. I'm not gonna lie.
So why?
Dream
Explain
garage.
it.
Yeah, but I mean, if you ask the question, like my dream garage would blank, 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 or like my dream garage would be or would have
Would be a
like,
3-car garage.
would be a 3-car garage. I mean,
Okay. All right. My next pick, I'll take 4-car garage then.
There you go. Good. I was gonna do 3+ garage, but I thought you would get angry about that, Brad, because you're getting a little dicey over there.
I thought we were talking about stuff in the garage. Whatever. It is what
Well,
it is.
Yeah, I can fit more stuff in my 3-car
Yeah.
garage. So,
stuff in the garage.
okay.
Okay.
First pick of the
You got
4th
another one?
round, I'm gonna take full gym because it's heated and cooled. I have a bar that I can put water or beer in, and I have a lot of space because there's 3-car garage. I want to put my gym in there, so it's not in my basement or in a room in my house.
Yeah, as long as if you've got the heat and you've got the AC and you've got a little like chill spot. I mean, hey, you got your gym. I think we've kind of danced around this one, but nobody's really said it. So I'm going to take TV. It's like a big TV on the wall. Just
Yeah, I
for,
like that.
for everything,
Yeah.
just you got to have some entertainment when you're out there hanging with the fellas or the ladies or the family or whoever. Put a big TV on the wall and just kind of take it from there.
Watch a hockey game in your garage at your beer station while you're playing golf.
But yeah, playing
I
golf
like
or
it.
re-gripping a club or
Or
maybe
working
changing
out,
my
yeah.
oil.
I
those
like
things can
it.
happen.
I know. I had TV on my list for sure.
Yeah,
I
Nice.
just encompass that in my bar, but you
Yeah.
have a TV in your garage. You need it.
Yeah.
Sure.
You need it. So, Brad,
Okay.
you're gonna finish off round 4, and then you're gonna start off round 5 here.
I did have 2 picks. I now have another pick I'm going to add to it. So I'm actually going to go with a 4-car garage.
All right.
I guess if I had a dream garage, it would be 4 cars, 4 bays big.
4 bays. Yes. Yeah, that's it.
4 bay garage. Let's put bay in there.
4 bay.
Four
You want
bays.
4 simulators in there, eh? Just
4 bay garage. Give me lots of room to do anything that I want.
yeah. Seems a little excessive. Like 3 should be fine. It's kind of the perfect number, but if you
Not
want
in a
to-
dream. In a dream scenario, 4 would be even better.
I
You guys
really
seen-
I think John knows what to do with his last pick now.
I don't. He's not going to do it. He's not going to
Well,
do it.
it's-
I challenged him to do it. I don't think he will though.
Have you seen these houses? We've seen a couple. There's not too many around here, but like there's been a couple houses where you've got an attached garage and a detached garage. You've seen one of those things
Yeah,
where you've got
I like
your
that.
like the one. There's like one bay, like one garage door attached to the house, so you can park in there and walk right into the house. And then you can have the other garage kind of maybe down the driveway a little bit or off to the side that has all of the rest of your stuff in there. And so you've got an attached garage and a detached garage for everything. And so that's not my pick.
So John's
Just-
pick's going to be another garage.
my dream garage is actually 2 garages.
Yeah, separate one. Just give me 2.
Oh man.
All right,
Okay.
Brad,
All right.
finish
I'm
off
gonna
your list
go.
here.
I'm between
Yeah.
two here, but I'm gonna go with surround sound music. I just want good big speakers all throughout the garage. I want to be able to
Sure.
bump the music in that
Built-in
thing.
speakers. You want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Surround sound.
Built-in sound system, something like
Built
that.
into
Yeah,
sound
There you
system.
go.
Yeah. I
yeah,
want
yeah.
an elite sound system in that garage.
That was right after TV on my list. That's a good thing too, right? I mean, you've got the sound. Hey, you can't just have one TV and then just like the TV speaker, or, nothing. You gotta have
I
some music
think
to get you.
It's more of a priority than the TV, to be honest.
I mean,
Yeah.
when you're frying up grilled cheese in your kitchen, you need to have something to listen to, right?
Yeah.
No, that's a good one. It's debatable. It depends what you're doing for the music or the TV. Like if you're in there working on something, music works, but you're watching the game. If you're on the simulator, you might want the game going. You might want the music going.
Yeah.
They're hand in hand. But that's a good pick. I can't believe that slipped to the 5th round here.
That was high on my list.
Yeah.
But I have one other really good one. So
Well, let's see if I take this one. I don't know. I have so
John,
many
you know what
more
to
on
do
my
here.
list.
John,
I have
you know
so
what to
many
do.
more on my list. It
I
might
know.
be 5-car garage.
Yeah, you need 5 cars.
Man, I might need a 5-car garage if I'm going to put a pool table in it though. So I'm saying pool table.
pool table. Oh yeah, that's nice. I like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's bringing the basement out to the garage a little bit.
Kind of. It's a little Doug Heffernan, King of Queens vibes
Yeah.
with the pool
Yeah.
table and all this stuff, the TV and just like the chill spot. Still room for cars and everything. So I'm sort of thinking kind of going that way, but definitely, I'd say the pool table. Now you got to have Scott's heat and air conditioning to to actually have a pool table, because otherwise
Yeah.
you're just not going to want to go in there and you're going to crack balls if it's that cold.
Yeah, that HVAC's looking a whole lot better now. with your guys' picks, eh?
Right.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time here. I'm between like 3. Taking a sauna cold plunge.
Sauna and a
Trendy.
cold plunge.
Trendy.
Yeah, that is a little trendy. Yeah.
I
A little
don't.
trendy.
Can you take both? Can you take both? Are they hand in hand thing?
Well, the company that I have bought my cold plunge from sells the saunas too.
But did it come together? Did it come in a
They
package?
can come as a package together.
Like a
Neurocover.
hot tub swim spa is all one
Yeah,
big thing.
Or like one of our friends that used to work at our office, they just opened this kind of business where you can do both. So I'm taking it
In
both.
5 years from now, is cold plunge still going to be what it is today?
Definitely
There's gonna
more
be
of
some new
of a
thing,
fad.
though.
I think there's going to be people that are lifers, but I don't think.
Yeah. It's like your own personal polar bear dip. And they've been doing
Yeah.
that for a long time. People have been jumping into the cold lake, especially here, Southern Ontario in the winter. They
Mhm.
jump in and you come out and then you wrap yourself in that like space blanket and you're good to go for a bit, right? But I think
Yeah.
the cold plunge is it's obviously there's some medical therapeutic benefits to it, but I kind of think the cold plunge is kind of like a private version of the polar bear dip. So I don't think it's really going to go anywhere anytime soon unless we figure out how to do it without the water and they do like a dry ice plunge or something, or some kind of like, I don't know, some new thing that I don't even know about. Maybe that's the
or
only
if
way
the
it'll go away.
cost of these cold plunge units come down, because it's almost as equivalent of buying like a not as high end hot tub, and you get basically your tin tub.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
crazy.
The one I have, like I think it keeps cold in the summer for a couple days, but it'd be nice if you didn't have to change the water out all the time. Where now, if it's in your garage and you don't have heating or air conditioning on there, because it's so cold in there, it stays as cold as you need it without it
Mhm.
freezing. So just depends,
Keep
I think,
throwing
on the
some ice in it.
technology. But
Okay.
I don't know. Whatever Joe Rogan's doing in 5-6 years, that's what everyone will be doing. So that's where a lot of this cold plunge cultures come from. So.
Yeah.
So let's go over the teams here
All
before
right.
we hit the draft room floor. So team 1, Brad, golf simulator, kitchen, workshop area, a 4-bay garage, built-in sound system. John is team 2, beer fridge, car elevator / lift, red snap-on toolbox, TV and pool table. A lot of hanging out is happening there. And team 3, Scott,
place to
is
be.
heating, air conditioning, HVAC, a bar, 3-car garage, which is much better than 4, a full gym, and a sauna cold plunge. So what do we have that didn't get out there?
Do you want me to start? Because I might go for a while here. We'll
Sure,
see.
you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to blast through this quickly. Okay, so I'm gonna say lots of cabinets, right? Obviously, you've got to have storage for all your stuff. So cabinets everywhere. You go to a poured epoxy floor. So like your nice shiny floor where it's not just concrete. It's very durable and reinforced, and you can kind of clean oil and things off the floor very easily. So epoxy. an air compressor for all your air tools and everything like that, car detailing, or just air tools for taking wheels off your car. Decor, car themed decor, gas station signs and Coca-Cola signs and beer signs and those kinds of things. A dartboard right next to the pool table. I was going to go pool table or dartboard. I thought maybe I'd go the bigger impact and go pool table, but the dartboard is also on there. Same with the pinball machine, those kinds of things. Now, if you want to get super, super fancy, you can go with a car turntable. So you drive in, turn it around, and then you can drive out. You don't have to back out of your garage ever. You can just drive in and drive out.
I've seen a couple of those. There's
a couple of those. Is that garage or a lot? Like, is that in the fancy rich people's driveway?
Driveway or garage. Yeah, you can do them in both if your garage is big enough. If your garage is kind of part of the house. Underground garages, those are the kinds of things where you see that turntable, because you drive down underneath and then you've got not a lot of space. So you instead of backing up the garage ramp, you got to turn around. So turntables underground tend to be the car detailing supplies. Scott mentioned this too, access to the house, which is nice. I mean, I like a detached garage, but access to the house is nice too. Or just a coach house above your garage. So a couple of people I knew a few years ago had a detached garage with a coach house above it, a little apartment. So it's its own little apartment with a bedroom, bathroom, and access to the yard, maybe a drive-through garage. Lots of diamond plate steel, everything covered in diamond plate steel. The pattern diamond plate, probably seen it before. Its own electrical panel, and hand washing station, sink, and maybe its own bathroom. So that would be my dream garage. You're just putting an
entire house and
inside
inside.
That's right. I know. I was thinking about this. Well, when we were talking about our dream backyards a while ago, we basically, Brad's just like, or maybe Scott too. You guys were just like, I'm going to bring the whole house outside into the backyard. Hey, this is my opportunity to bring my house into my garage, my non-existent garage. My dream garage is a garage that exists. I don't currently have a garage, so that's my drafting room floor.
One can dream, though, John. One can dream. You hit a lot of them. The only thing I would say, like I like the coach house over top, or I was going to even say like a loft space. So some people have their offices or like their gym, whatever, up there.
Yep. Yeah.
So I had second floor lofts. I had the dog wash station, which I almost went with. Saw a cool one recently. It's like access to the basement. So the stairs go into the laundry room, but also have stairs that go down. So if you were to have an accessory apartment, it would be another means of egress, but also this person had a golf simulator in the garage and then the bar was in the basement. So
interesting.
If you had your friends over, you could just easily go to the bathroom or get your drinks and stuff inside. So,
okay.
But other than that,
that's a guy with full rain on his house right there.
He actually was the builder, like he had built it. So he clearly was like, oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. No kids are taking over. That's probably the only spot he had maybe, but that was it. I didn't have a whole heck of a lot.
I had bathroom too. I thought that would be a good one to have in there. I had heated floors.
Wait, go back to the washroom. Are we talking like urinal out in the open, or are we talking like its own?
No, its own little thing. Its own little thing. Maybe even a shower kind of thing. Yeah.
Kind of an accessory apartment.
But yeah, heated floors was the one I was really thinking about taking. And then the only other thing I had was like sports memorabilia to go up to make it more of a man cave, I guess. But I'd like to,
When I pictured what's on the walls, I think that was sort of what I pictured as well, like a jersey, like a framed jersey or something hanging there, or a couple of pennants or something like that. And then I thought, well, it's a garage. Maybe leave that stuff for the inside. Maybe leave that stuff for the room, the man cave or whatever, and go with the car themed stuff outside, which is kind of why I had that one on my list instead. But I do like the sports memorabilia spot for the garage, because as long as your garage is locked and has a security system and security cameras, because if you're going to put memorabilia out there in the garage, hey, depending on the neighborhood you live in, you might be saying goodbye to it real quick. But
you don't know if people might see that stop sign that you have on the wall and they want to come in and steal it. I'm predicting right now this is going to be the closest draft yet, because there's no team that stands out here as what were they thinking. I'm predicting a close one. Can keep his first ever back-to-back win process going. So.
I think it's going to come down to me and John. I truly think that.
You think so?
Well, yeah. I think I crushed you with a 4-car garage. Yeah, I crushed an entire pick of yours.
Seems a little excessive. I should have said 3+. I didn't want to cheat though, and then you went and... I really wish
this isn't MLS. You're not looking this up on your system writing 3+.
It's true. I really wish that John went full Price is Right mode there and just took the 5-car garage.
I knew it wouldn't.
$1, Bob. $1.
I ran that scenario through my head. I knew he wouldn't do it.
This is like the bits when somebody says 2000, the next person says 2001, and the next person goes 2002, and everybody goes, oh.
Yeah.
So
jerks. Anyways, we're off the rails right now. Thanks for listening. If you're still with us, make sure to head on over to Instagram to vote and like, subscribe so that you're not missing any episodes, because we're loving what we're doing and would love your support. So thanks again, and good to see you guys.
Thank you. Good to see you
guys. Have a good
too.
one.
Absolutely. We'll be back a couple of weeks. Stay tuned. You've been listening to the Drafting Offers Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at the Drafting Offers Podcast and vote for this week's draft champ. That's also how you can get directly in touch with us if you have any questions about this week's show. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and catch every episode on Spotify. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we can't wait for you to join us again for another episode of the Drafting Offers Podcast.